Yo, it's Greewe. Sit tight, grab your drink, because what you're about to hear is the raw story behind one of the biggest falls hip hop has ever seen. This is the untold truth about Diddy, the secrets, the scandals, the empire, and how it all came crashing down. Let's get it. Diddy was never just another rapper. He was a brand, a mogul, a king who built an empire on shiny suits, platinum hits, and an attitude that nothing could touch him. For decades, he seemed untouchable. Parties with the biggest names, deals that turned millions into billions, a life that looked like a nonstop dream. But behind the flashy lifestyle was a darkness that only a few dared to whisper about. Rumors that floated around late-night studio sessions, secret parties, hushed settlements that made problems disappear. Nobody wanted to believe them because believing them meant the fairy tale wasn't real. People close to Diddy say the empire was always built on fear and control. He knew everybody's secrets. He knew how to make or break a career overnight. That kind of power doesn't come cheap. It demands loyalty, silence, and sometimes hush money. Stories started surfacing years ago, but every time they did, they got buried. Tabloids ran fluff pieces, lawyers sent threats, money changed hands, and life went on. Diddy stayed on the yachts, in the mansions, on the biggest stages. He was the king of bad boy for life. But everything changed when the walls finally cracked. The FBI didn't knock on the front door politely. They stormed in. Multiple raids, computers, phones, everything seized. The world got its first real look behind the velvet curtain. Allegations of human trafficking, secret tapes, young victims, powerful friends who knew and said nothing. The details were ugly. The headlines were worse. But the worst part? Nobody was really surprised. The whispers had been there for decades. As the raid news spread, Diddy did what he always did. He lawyered up. The best in the game, high-priced fixers who knew how to bury stories before they ever saw daylight. Cease and desist letters flew out to blogs, influencers, small news sites. Anyone talking too loud got a legal threat. But the internet had changed. This wasn't the 90s anymore. One leak turned into 1,000. Screenshots, old videos, anonymous tips, it all spilled out faster than Diddy's team could shut it down. While the lawyers fought in courtrooms, the PR team scrambled to control the story. They painted Diddy as a victim, a powerful black mogul being unfairly targeted by the system. They said the FBI raid was harassment, a setup by jealous rivals. Some fans bought it. Others didn't care, but the survivors kept talking. People who'd stayed quiet for years suddenly found their voice. TikToks, podcasts, interviews, the truth was out there, raw and ugly. Behind the scenes, the money machine was breaking down. Diddy's wealth wasn't just about music, it was about brands. Ciroc vodka, fashion lines, TV shows. Those brands didn't want to be anywhere near words like FBI raid or trafficking. Quietly, they paused ads, pulled sponsorships, delayed launches. Some never came back. Diddy's team tried to spin it as business as usual, but insiders knew the empire was leaking money faster than ever. While this was happening, old bad boy artists started speaking up. Some said they'd been robbed blind, trapped in deals that gave them pennies while Diddy got rich. Others hinted they'd seen things at parties they wished they hadn't. A few even said they were blacklisted when they tried to leave. For a long time, nobody believed them, but now their words were being replayed in a new light. The public finally listened. The lawyers tried to silence ex-employees with NDAs and settlements. Some took the money, some didn't. A few flipped, giving the feds inside info in exchange for immunity. The raid had cracked open the door. Now people were pushing it wide. Every week brought a new headline: secret footage, hidden messages, rumors of a vault full of compromising tapes. Nobody knew what was real, but everyone knew it was bad. Meanwhile, Diddy's public image kept crumbling. He went silent on social media, no more yacht flexes, no more living my best life videos. The man who once bragged about being everywhere was suddenly nowhere. He canceled appearances, ducked interviews, stayed behind high walls and high-priced lawyers. For a while, some diehard fans defended him online, saying it was all lies. But the more that leaked, the harder it got to explain away. Sponsors who once lined up for a piece of Diddy's shine now wanted nothing to do with him. The biggest brands in liquor, fashion, and TV went cold. No official statements, just quiet exits. They'd seen enough celebrity implosions to know how this ends. Nobody wants their logo next to a tabloid scandal. Money that used to flow like water started drying up. In the industry, people started asking, who else knew? Diddy never partied alone. Big names were always there. Actors, rappers, producers. If secret tapes exist, who's on them? Who else will get exposed? The whispers turned into fear. Old friends went silent. Some even deleted photos, wiped mentions, tried to act like they'd never been in the same room. But the internet doesn't forget. Then there were the victims. Some said they'd been paid off for years. Some said they were threatened. Some said they stayed silent because they knew nobody would believe them. But once the feds showed up, people found courage. They didn't care about hush money anymore. They wanted the truth out, whatever it cost. As the cases stacked up, rumors swirled that Diddy was selling assets under fake names. Offshore accounts, shell companies, mansions flipped overnight. Was it true? Hard to say. But when a billionaire starts acting broke, people notice. Some thought he was prepping for a legal war. Others thought he was hiding cash before the government could freeze it. Either way, the empire didn't look so bulletproof anymore. What happens next? Nobody knows. Maybe Diddy cuts a mega settlement and buys silence one last time. Maybe he runs. Dubai, the Bahamas, somewhere with no extradition. Maybe he fights every charge and tries to spin it as a witch hunt. Or maybe, just maybe, the feds have enough to do what no rumor ever could: lock him up for good. For the fans, the fall of Diddy is more than gossip. It's a wake-up call, a reminder that fame is just a shiny mask, that secrets always leak, that no amount of hits, yachts, or money can keep the truth buried forever. Young fans don't care about legends. They care about receipts, screenshots, leaked clips, the real story. And that's why this story matters, because it's not just about Diddy. It's about an industry that let power silence victims for too long, about a culture that looked the other way when money washed sins clean, about what happens when the internet says, enough. The empire is still standing, for now, but every day another crack shows. More insiders talk, more brands vanish, more fans turn. Maybe Diddy weathers the storm, maybe he disappears into the sunset with whatever money's left. Or maybe the king of bad boy finally faces the consequences. Either way, one thing's clear: this story isn't over, not by a long shot. And as long as there's truth left to dig up, you know where to find it. I'm Greewe, and around here, nothing stays buried forever.